Additions or corrections to the agenda?
I'd like to add to old business, this would be 6D. Shortly after the election, at one of our planning commission meetings, we discussed having the board of trustees re-empower the planning commission to pass judgment on building projects. And I don't know that, I went through the notes, my notes, I couldn't find which meeting it was, but I don't think we got anything.
I remember that, but, yeah.
I remember it, I don't remember the outcome, but I can find
Can we
out.
put that on the next board meeting?
Or we can check and see if it already got approved, reauthorized.
And
We should have been told.
It might have been.
I actually don't think it was, but I can't tell you that for sure. I need to look that up.
Yeah.
and-
What is that?
It was 5 months ago,
What was
5 or
that?
6 months.
Yeah. Right? It wasn't.
It was after
approved, right?
April.
But I don't remember any of the verbiage that went with it.
Okay, well,
But let's look that up and
Yeah.
find out what
okay,
exactly happened.
so I'll make a motion. Anything else to add?
Okay. Anything else to add?
Okay, I'll make a motion to, add 6D. Reauthorize authority of planning commission to the agenda as 6D.
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, is there any corrections that need to be made to the minutes from October 11th?
Yeah,
No?
yes.
Oh.
Willie can't be here in that.
Hey, Michael.
You can't what?
Under
Hi.
the people who are present and absent, he can't be in both places.
Oh, that's right. I say left early. You were here, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That-
so,
Darn copy and paste. I was absent the previous.
yeah. Okay, so,
Then I'd like, on 5A of the minutes, motion was made to approve the plans for this debt contingent on the note being sent to town hall regarding the setbacks. Did we receive that?
We did.
Okay.
Joel Adcock. Did we approve the agenda?
not yet.
Move to
Yeah.
approve the agenda as
No, we
amended?
approved it.
Oh, yeah.
He motioned, I second.
Oh, okay. Did
Yeah.
you vote?
Yes?
Oh.
You said aye.
Hey,
Or it sounded like you did. Okay, so with the change to, I make a motion to approve the minutes with the correction that, we delete William Alexander as absent.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, is there anybody who's here that would like to speak that's not already on the agenda? You guys just came first.
4040 Myrtle Street. In regards to no parking for hiking, so
Mhm.
I happened to be out on my deck on Saturday having a cigar and noticed 4 people walking down the trail. And they walked, obviously they've been out the trail, they were walking down the trail. They walked to a car parked on Myrtle Street and got in, and frankly, I thought about going down and confronting them, but I was outnumbered 4-1. I was a little upset that these people were not smart enough to see at least two, no parking for hiking beyond this point signs. And I'd like for something to be done about that.
Well, I think that's when we get a marshal, that's what they're for.
Well,
I don't know what we can do until that
I'd like for the planning commission to ask the board to task the marshal when he's hired to pay special attention to no parking for hiking.
I agree.
He
I
has
was,
to issue 4, 5, 10, 20 parking tickets a day, that's fine with me. But I'm a little upset about it. They were parked it just so happened that the neighbor who lives at the end of Middle Street there
Mhm.
was not home.
Mhm.
And so so he wasn't affected. But if he had been home, he couldn't have left.
Yeah.
Because they parked their car directly behind one of his parking spaces.
Mac, I've been dealing with this too. We have no parking sign right behind our driveway. And you know how wide Howard is, it's like maybe 12 feet, if that. And all the people who've been staying at Ben's house have been parking right behind their driveway, we can't get out. But there's no parking sign there, and there's nothing we can do about it.
I would like for the planning commission to ask the board to be particularly sensitive about the no parking provision.
Would you guys actually listen to us on it?
I think it's not a matter of listening or not, it's a matter of what can we do about it right
Well,
now?
I think Mac realizes we can't do anything about it.
Oh, I understand, that's why I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
So, but the point is though, that it's annoying.
Yeah.
And it's the law, and people are ignoring it.
Oh, I totally agree.
With the absence of a town marshal, it's, there's no consequence for the most part.
Yeah.
For people who do park. I mean, I've seen people parking at the end of Belvedere
Yeah,
and they say, can we park here? I said, well, no.
Well,
Well,
when the Christians aren't there, they park in the driveway.
I agree with Mac, but there's the same situation with speeders and.
I think once we get a
everybody else
town
in town.
marshal,
Yeah, we need to.
some of that problem will go away,
Yeah.
just because there is a risk of getting a ticket. Right now, there isn't.
If I may, this was addressed, I believe, 2 weeks ago when we were talking about no parking signs in town. It doesn't matter how many you put up, if there's no one to enforce it,
yeah.
it's irrelevant. So
Yeah.
I agree, it's an issue, but if there's no one here to enforce it, it's going to
Well,
continue to be an issue.
I intend to bring it up at every opportunity until something gets done.
No,
Yeah. I
I'm
hate to
all
be a
for that.
pain in the tail, but I will be until something gets done.
I fully support that. It's an issue everywhere in town. I mean,
Well, the biggest problems in Green Mountain Falls are the same as they were when I first moved here 40 years ago. Parking, stray dogs, and bears. It's exactly the same. There is no change.
You tell that bear.
and
There's turkeys now, there's turkeys in my driveway today.
I think most of us are pretty fine.
Audience is bears. Yeah, I got 11. I'm having a blast with them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat you are. Half the time I'm just like, okay, I'll do a 20-point turn to get out of my driveway. And then the other times I walk down there and I ask them to move. And then the past couple times they're like, well, I'm Ben Stevens' brother, so I don't have to.
Where was he parked?
Like directly behind my driveway. So there's like just barely enough room for a little teeny car to get by.
We have to take that up with Ben then.
Yeah, it's not worth taking it up with Ben. He'll just yell at me.
Hmm?
It's Ben.
What was your breakfast?
Anyway, back to your request, I think under public input, we can't take any action, but we could put it on the agenda
Yeah.
for the next time to
So
address your request.
when you guys have been
I
making
appreciate it.
what the marshal is responsible for,
That's on his list of,
is that one of the higher priorities on his list already?
I don't know what his priorities are, but, road
His
enforcement.
plate's gonna be overflowing.
Well,
And I understand
hopefully,
that,
yeah.
the hiking season is sort of winding down.
Yeah.
When the weather's unpleasant, you don't get that many hikers. But the point is that if it's prevalent today, it's gonna be prevalent in the spring.
It always is.
And unless something gets done about it, it will never, ever stop.
Yeah, you're right, I don't think we can tell.
So Renee, did you get that on for the agenda for next? Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Sorry,
Michael?
Does someone have an update about how the search for the marshal is going, or what we can anticipate?
We've been, at the last board meeting, we, talked about the search for the marshal. We have received about 7 inquiries to date, not all applications, some just inquiries. 3 of whom we have seen before. We are updating the application process, and we have opened up the applications to say, instead of a due date of November 1st, it will be open until filled.
We're also going to be placing, posting notices, I guess, in more recruitment sources than we had before, which hopefully, once again, will, spread the word
cool,
more
thanks.
widely.
Michael?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You wanna?
Hey, Mike,
Yes,
is it,
separate.
okay,
You do the signs.
oh, yeah. Steal.
Mike Woodman, I live down Cascade, but I noticed something on the Facebook posting about the fire restriction stages. And as I recall, a couple of years ago, there was a kind of controversy about who was in charge of posting the fire restrictions. And a couple of the Fremont call systems asked about it. And Rich Bowman replied that yes, there is a difference between the restrictions in Fremont Falls and what the restrictions are posted by the sheriff's department, mainly because El Paso County extends out into the flatlands and we're up in the mountains and like. And back at that time, when I was able to pull out events, it was talked about that nobody really stepped up to who was going to change the sign, where a sign would be, and the like. And I just thought I would mention again, possibly on top of the 2 entering Fremont Falls sign, fire restriction level, or stage 1 or stage 2 could be down there, because right now, the only one you're going to get is the one that you can read coming up the pass, and that's the one from the sheriff's department. Quite a few people are apparently rather worried about it, and so I just point out that placing a sign or whatever to meet the restrictions within town might be helpful.
Does the Fremont Falls to Peter Park Fire District currently set the stages for burns or bans?
Mhm.
According to the old minutes and according to Rich, yes, they do, because they're more specific for up here
Yeah.
than down on the plains, for example.
How do they currently publicize that?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, that's the only place I've ever seen is Facebook.
Well, and they put it on their own Facebook.
Yeah.
And what happened last week is I called Steve Murphy, asked if he was gonna put up the stage 1 ban. He did. I copied it from their site onto the Fremont Falls site. That's not a legal posting, but I asked Renee to post it here at Town Hall, which is the legal posting place.
So we can put it in the post office too?
He did that.
He did, okay. I mean, I think it's a great idea.
I think the post office is.
Yeah.
It meets the legal requirement for posting, but you get tourists who stay in
Well-
short-term rentals.
Who want to go to the post office.
They don't go to the post office.
I go to the post office once every 2 weeks, and I don't look at anything in the post office, so.
So, I mean, in addressing that, our current posting method is probably a little bit,
Not only that, there's a difference between stage one and stage two, and who knows the difference.
The only way I know is because they post it on, they post like what the requirements are on Facebook and say, this is what stage one is, when they post it, and then they say, this is what stage two is. Outside that,
The fire department, that could be something that they could have in town and pay for,
I mean, at the same time,
you know.
I don't know if stage one and stage two don't really mean anything, and that's not what it says when you're coming up the pass either, it just says high, low, medium.
Right.
And I think if we're doing it so tourists know, high, low, medium makes a lot more sense than stage one, stage two, because we're trying to make them alert.
or
They're not gonna go look up the rules.
the sign that they have just past the Laurel Canyon parking lot,
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
something like that.
Smoking
that-
beer.
Michael, let me just say something. David Perlman, 6813 Douglas Way. Michael has a very good point, and no matter what you've all been saying just now, it doesn't mean a damn thing unless people that live here are aware of this stage one, stage two. Worse is the fact that you have vacation rental owners that don't live in town and don't even post if there's a stage one or stage, they don't know, they wouldn't know. For example, 2 vacation rentals that I have, if there's a stage one, no fires, I let them know. Nobody else knows. How could anybody else know that you're not allowed to have an outside fire or a fire pit or anything like that? How do you control that?
Well, we ban fire pits from vacation rentals
Or
anyway,
charcoal
so.
files, yeah.
Well, but
It's enforced.
who's enforcing it? Thank you.
No, I agree.
That's all I'm saying. Michael's right, there needs to be a sign coming into town saying high, low, medium, whatever you wanna call it, or no open, whatever, however you get it across to the public. Facebook is not my idea of.
No, it's not.
There's limited access across.
Has it ever been done a different way in the past? Like how before Facebook, how did we let people know quickly?
It's in the post office.
Well,
I mean, that's where it was.
Tourists don't go to the post office.
tourists.
People who go to vacation rentals don't know anything about the post office.
And most of us who live here don't go to the post office very often.
What about the pantry and
Yeah,
Limos and whatever businesses?
We need a town crier.
There's, I mean, some people come up
I
here
was
just.
I was thinking, that literally came across my mind.
mostly a few of those people knew fire pit stuff.
There's always been a danger of fire, whether it's high, medium, or low. But the problem, a part of the problem is the fact that until 2003, there never was a forest fire that threatened Green Mountain Falls and U Pass. And so it's only been important to people since 2003. So, people who have been here for long years
2012.
don't even think about it.
Two or 12.
2012.
Yeah,
Waldo
I think
Canyon.
he's
So
talking about
2003 was a Hayman fire.
Yeah.
We were
2002. Those
on
two.
alert to evacuate.
Right.
And that's the only time that it got to anybody personally. Up until 2003, since 1977, there was never a fire close enough to Colorado Springs or El Paso County or Teller County for that matter, that made a difference. It wasn't until 2003, the Hayman fire, when it became pretty fresh in everybody's mind. So people who've been here for a long time really don't think about that much.
Well, here we go back to the same situation as the people parking in your driveway while they're hiking. If we had a marshal and somebody saw a fire being burned next door to their house, and it was a fire pit, and there was an illeak or it was a high pit, you call the marshal's office and they come and take care of it.
Sure.
So,
I mean, outside of the parking problem is, with people who live around you, be a good neighbor and talk to them. I mean, nicely.
well, I did. I had that situation this weekend. There were people out next to my house who were here for a wedding. They were a vacation rental. they were doing a fire pit. I yelled over, "Hey, stage one fire ban, thank you," they shut it down. But there's somebody has to be there to tell them.
Right.
Yes.
Rosemary
Go
Lupo,
ahead.
would it be viable to send out a text message, blanket text message for the stage one, stage two? I'm not sure what those are, but to the point of contacts or owners for vacation rental and the residents?
Good idea.
Do we have, how do they get set up with like, is it Nixa or whatever it is in Teller County?
Yeah, and that's a Teller County call, but they only send out if there's like, I've
You can
never
get an
had one.
email.
You're talking about like a reverse
There's an email.
Because
Well,
my
most of us
manager
don't
would
have
be on it
phones.
immediately to tell anybody.
But even when it's stage one is declared, I don't know that that comes out on any of the emergency stuff except
Yeah,
Office of Emergency Management. I don't think that would,
Well,
I
mean,
don't think they
and maybe
consider
that's
that.
something that the county and the city and the town should be relying on the news media for. It takes nothing to put that on the crawl.
Mac, here's a typical Facebook posting. The mayor posted that we were in stage one burning and there were no open fires to be allowed. The next posting comes back, does this ever need to be even mentioned? Well, of course it does. It was just, you know.
yeah, because when there's not a stage one or stage two, we have fires in our backyard all the time.
So my point is that if the news media could be relied on to do that, I think that would take a lot of pressure off the other entities who are asking questions just like this. Well, who's supposed to do that? Are we in charge of that? Does the fire department do that? Does the sheriff department? If it showed up on the crawl while they were watching their soap opera or whatever program they're watching, it would sink in.
Yeah, I think there's I think all we can learn from this is that there's a better way to do it. But I think we need to have a talk about how to do that.
I think Ms. Lupo had a very good idea about
Yeah, like
a
that text
mailing,
message seems,
or a mailing.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily here to watch TV.
But that still doesn't,
You could still be
it
oblivious.
still doesn't let the
signs
vacation
at
rental.
both entrances.
Right, but that still
If
doesn't
you
let the
come into
vacation
town,
rental
you'll see
owners know that there's a stage one ban, and they're oblivious to it, and their tenants move in, and we're in the same situation. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're beating a dead horse, so.
right, I think, but it's something that definitely needs to start.
I don't think it should be, okay, that's a good idea, mailbox and post office. It should be all of if there's any fire restriction, the more opportunities you use to get it out. That person who doesn't have a TV or that person who is here for a wedding or whatever may just stumble across getting the word out. Oh, hey, we can't have a fire.
There's no reason why it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
Right.
so maybe it's just, I think it's just something maybe we can bring to the board eventually.
So this is something that maybe the Office of Emergency Management should be thinking about.
But you gotta think how scary it really is when you have a woman calling in or texting on Facebook, what do I have to do to get a fire pit so I can enjoy my fire pit? And it didn't matter what was said. She said, doesn't matter, I just want my fire pit. I just have to have my fire pit. Doesn't matter about the rest of the town. Here we have high winds and it's dangerous, that's all.
Yeah.
Just, anyway.
That's me, by the way.
What?
Keep her name?
I just want a fire.
Oh,
I haven't done it.
Don't call,
I'm still trying to figure
what's
it
the
out.
fire chief's name?
Steve Murphy.
Murphy.
Last week, I think.
Scary.
Okay,
Let me talk to Steve to see how they currently get the word out. If they have a desire to have a sign, much like when you go into the national forest.
I think they've talked about it before, they just have never funded it.
I'm John Goodwin. I lived at 10640 Green Mountain Falls Road, which is the Bauer Barn. I want to add some stairs to the deck that is on the back of the building. That's really it. They're going to be about 3 feet wide It'll go from the top of the deck down to the ground. And that's it.
Where is this at again?
It isn't, he just wants
Green
to.
barn.
Right across the street.
Okay.
So it'll go out the southwest side, away from Green Mountain Falls Road towards the creek. Nowhere near any other property or setback.
The other horse.
Horse barn, okay. Did you just buy that?
I did.
So you'll definitely have to go to the building department.
It's already approved.
It is, okay.
Yeah, I went to get the permit, and they're like, yeah, you gotta go talk, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all good, I've got the drawing, there's one on the table, I don't know if
Okay.
everybody's already got a copy of it.
Have you even have a permit to fill out? Since he's building something technically, he has to fill that out.
We need to get it on the agenda before we can approve.
Yeah, we do. That's something that we need to be on the next agenda and then just have a permit fee for that. And that's because it's new. And so, and it's not, it's something we just have to keep consistent with everyone.
Right,
I know you have a pretty big property.
Yeah.
And most properties in Green Mountain Falls are just like
I
tiny.
understand, yeah, we came to the last one 2 weeks ago, and I know you said that your deck was overhanging, and I got it, most of the properties are
Yeah,
half acre or less.
right, so,
It's
Understand?
not like 10th acre or less.
yeah,
Yeah,
my property is 3,000 square feet, so.
right,
It's,
Yeah.
so yeah, we need to see a basic drawing and show how far it's gonna be from the closest line. Setback. And then we can approve it,
okay.
so.
Teresa?
Yeah, if you had a, what do they call it when you buy? It's not a survey.
Utilities,
No, it's a,
ILC,
ILC.
Locate.
improvement location, what's it called now?
ILC, improvement location. Sure.
Yeah, and
So it shows your property and then the diagram of the house, something like that. Yeah.
Location certificate.
Okay, I've got all the drawings in here, I can add it.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. And by the way, the Indians were up 2-0.
What is that? Wait, what?
2-0 Indians.
Didn't want to hear
It's
that.
early.
There we go.
Sounds like a Chicago fit.
Yeah.
Well, you're outnumbered.
Deep flooded.
Mike?
Totally separate thing. Day before yesterday, I was up on your street, dropping somebody off, and a lady and her young child were coming up out of houses, I think 2 down from north, and she tripped and fell with her obvious special needs child.
Mm-hmm.
And the child was crying, and she was crying, and I got up and helped her, and she goes, it's just impossible for me to, get from my house to get into her car without going, she has to jump down about 20 inches to get from her house to get to where the parking is. And apparently she's come and asked Renee about it and the like, and I said, well, the town should be able to do something about providing a handicap parking or the like, or go to the,
Well, she bought a house that has no parking. And, redoing their stairs is a feasibility, but the person who lived there before just had to deal with it. That's kind of what it is here. I don't think you can redo the whole street just because someone has to step down a ways. They need to redo their stairs. I don't want to sound like callous, but
Well, if you buy a house
you have
Alongside
to think
the,
about that when you get your house.
in the airport, you can't complain about the noise.
I mean, and that's another parking issue. That person's parked out in the middle of the street, and during the winter, the plows, she's probably gonna get hit by the plow. So sometimes you have to redo your stairs if you're having a problem with them or something like that.
I also suggested that she look to the 88 advocacy.
Yeah.
There's some monies there,
Mm-hmm.
and that may be a joint filing between the town and herself, to 88.
Yeah.
That's and so if there was a possibility of giving her a handicap spot, that might be helpful, but you're right, if it's purely her staircases, then.
Yeah. I mean, there's no parking on our street anyway. It's, there's been times the garbage truck couldn't get by that property, so I don't know what to do, what we could do.
What address is it?
6820 maybe?
Yeah.
Give or take. Howard? I mean, it's limited. I just don't really know what we could do besides her rebuilding her stairs to make the street better. Or a ramp or something.
Well, I'll help her with applying for funds for that.
Yeah, that would probably be the best idea because I don't know how we could change drainage and move the street up for someone's house without having to do it everywhere.
Well, and I don't know what the, where the street is in the right of way, you know, if we're on anybody's property.
I think the street there, like my property goes up to the middle of the street there.
And I think that could be a whole other issue, because if you have to fix the road, are we moving it off of your property?
And you can't
And
because the
someone
other
else's.
properties are, yeah, like
Right.
everywhere else.
So without seeing it, without having a survey, I don't
Yeah.
know.
So the mother's name is Raquel, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. And Public Works was notified, they went up and they looked at it. From what I've been told, that there is a dip in the road where the child gets out of the vehicle, and it makes it hard for her to get up to the property. They offered to fill it with dirt at one point, and she had stated that dirt wouldn't hold, especially if it rained. So I don't know where Public Works left it after that.
Yeah, it's since it's asphalt, if you just put dirt on top of it, it's just gonna wash away. Cause it seems like it was originally there for drainage. That's why the dip was there. And then it never was a problem before, cause the person who lived there before was single, and there was only one person that lived there, so she just pulled her car into the ditch and got out on the side of the road that didn't have a dip, so it's not a good situation, but I don't know what we can do.
Just FYI, that's.
Yeah.
You all right, Dick? You okay?
I'm just falling asleep, but I'm so excited about this conversation. It's not on agenda. We're supposed to take input, public input. We're not obliged to respond.
But we can discuss it if we want to.
You may, yes.
You're missing the game too.
We don't have a solution to the problem.
No.
We're trying to engineer it here. I don't think we should be doing that.
Okay, let's move on to new business then. Fence permit application, 10305 Mountain Lane. Ms. Lupo?
Rosemary Lupo, 10305 Mountain Lane. I'm requesting to put up a very small wooden privacy fence to enhance my neighbor's privacy. And you have the ILC with my drawing on it, my crude drawing on it.
So this is for your neighbor's property?
No, it's on my property to enhance my neighbor's privacy from my cabin
Okay,
for
and
their benefits.
it'd be a fence that's on the road, correct? Or next to the road?
Yeah, along the mountain lane, but up, going from the post of my porch, connecting with the existing fence.
Mhm.
Having a gate opening outward that would filter my guests to the back cabin. And putting signs on the outside, no parking on the, to keep the flow of people away.
Okay.
We're not approving signs today.
So is that on the street?
It is
Like, so there's the street right next to that, correct? It's
Down.
not, there's not a place where your guests could park on your property, right
on
next to
their
it?
property?
No,
No, there's no,
So-
I'm not on their property.
no, so there's the fence,
Can I see what you're referring to?
yes, right here. There's the fence and there's Mountain Lane,
Correct.
and there's not a space that you have on your property to park between the fence and here, is that correct?
No, my 2 parking spots are over here, gravel,
Okay,
and we've been iterating that only parking there.
okay,
This is Mountain Lane. The neighbor is blocking Mountain Lane in a diagonal now, but I
Okay.
wanna build a fence up on my property, on the line of my house,
okay,
right here, connecting to the fence that goes that way.
okay. And just as kind of a, if it's on the main street, you can't put no parking signs there.
Okay,
Because it's not your property to say nobody can park there.
can I put no guest parking? No.
No, it's,
nothing.
you can't put no parking signs if it's not your property, they would be parking.
Okay,
So, we have lots of problems with people doing that right now, but it's not something
I understand.
that we can, that should be there.
So how far back from the actual road surface will the fence be?
It's actually gonna be, there's some small stairs that go up, it's gonna be midway through the staircase. The gate will be opening over a stair, and there'll be like 1 or 2 more stairs to get down to the surface of the road.
Okay.
How tall is it?
So the fence is, the base of the fence
Mhm.
is above the road surface.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's up on a rocky, level.
And where the fence is gonna be, is that considered your backyard or your front yard
I
or?
would say it's the front.
Okay,
4 foot limit.
That's 6 foot high,
23
materials
feet.
are common.
You have a 4
I see
foot.
them.
so
yeah, but you have a 4-foot limit in the front yard.
Oh, setback on the front,
No,
No,
4
4
foot
foot
limit
height
high.
on the fence.
oh, I thought it was 6,
No, 6 foot in the back,
okay. So
4
the
foot in
only,
the front.
only non-compliance is the height of the fence.
Mhm.
I think we should approve this request with the condition that the fence be reduced to 4 feet high.
I would agree with that.
Can I question that, because it connects the front, what I'm saying is the front of the parcel is what I drive up to.
Mhm.
It has a 6-foot fence. I
Okay,
would like to connect more 6-foot fence with it. A 4-foot fence doesn't give the privacy that we're looking for.
and,
The only way you could do that would be to apply for a variance. A variance would be, it's a methodology for, getting a waiver to certain requirements.
so basically, I think what we're saying is that it shouldn't have had a 6-foot fence in the front of the house in the first place. That doesn't meet the requirements for a permit unless a variance was granted previously.
I have no idea.
And so what the standard is and what the code is for that is that a 4-foot fence is allowed in the front of the house.
If that's considered the front on Mountain Lane,
Mhm.
but I can't have 2 fronts. Either the one with the existing fence is the front, or the new fence would be. the
Well,
front.
front yard is what I'm saying. The front yard of a house is, you can have a 4-foot fence.
So
Was that the
you have,
best
so
way to
you
put
have, so you have a front, you have a rear, and 2 sides.
My neighbor put up a 6-foot on Mountain Lane. I would,
Did he apply for it, or did he put it up without, when he
I have
wasn't
no
supposed to?
No.
but it's facing Mountain Lane on the opposite side, and it's 6-foot.
Is this a recent addition, or has been?
Yes, since the last time I was here,
Okay.
His fence is?
yes.
Oh, wait, that guy came and applied for a fence permit, didn't he? He's the guy who was really worked up about
Right.
the vacation rental.
Alright.
Mr. Gustafson.
Yeah. One second.
John,
Yes.
his name was John.
Oh, I think so. We're double checking.
Thank you.
Yeah. 503.
Sorry, trying to find the number.
504 on fence?
Yep.
Yeah, 16504.
What's the bottom page number? 1632.
Ms. Lupo, while you wait, don't forget that there's a $125 fee.
Yeah.
to pay.
You're taking checks, I see.
Chairman, I move that we approve this fence with condition it be no higher than 48 inches.
Who would she want? You made
I made a motion.
You made a motion.
I made a motion.
Well, no, I was just double checking to making sure that we were saying the correct thing and not.
Okay.
Because I think when we approved his fence, we didn't approve his whole fence because he was gonna, I don't remember
The
what.
discussion of 4 foot high was,
Yeah, there was some part of this fence that got approved, we didn't approve the rest of it because it wasn't meeting the standard.
Ms. Lupo, are you set on a 6 foot high fence?
Well, my property is above, so if you stand on my porch and it's a 4-foot fence, it doesn't really add much privacy.
So
Doesn't
he's
add what
worried-
you want it to.
So your neighbor's worried about him seeing, about you seeing into his property and has been
I
complaining
wanna
about
keep
it.
my guests separate from the
Yeah,
neighbors for
I
their
understand.
privacy, and then, so that their view is basically of the fence and not their property.
Okay, I understand.
If our properties were the same level, yeah, but I'm overlooking, so
Okay.
4 foot doesn't really do me much.
Okay. Yeah, and so I can just read it to you. It says, height, front yard, any solid or lattice fence shall have a maximum height of 48 inches. Any open fence can have a maximum height of 72 inches. Side or backyard, maximum height of any fence shall be 72 inches. So if it was an open fence, for instance, like a split rail.
Those are the kind that offset.
No, a split rail is the one where it may have like one rail here, one rail here, one rail here. So like maybe 3 rails.
What's around the tennis courts?
It's definitely not a private.
That's chain link.
It's not
Well, I mean, out the street.
That's real, that's split rail.
So that's
That
considered
that doesn't provide any privacy.
I'll give you
no, it doesn't. I'm not saying it does. I'm just trying to.
That's an
I
open
think,
fence.
I think the difference in the heights of the property has to have something to do with it, because,
That'll be the grounds for a variance.
okay,
And unfortunately, it's just pretty cut and dry right here. It says if it's the front yard, it has a maximum height of 4 feet if it's a solid fence. So,
how do I go about achieving the variance? And
do we have a form for that?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Renee can get you the form for that.
okay,
And
aesthetically, it might look better to continue the same height around.
I agree.
Is what would be your case, you know.
and I'm up higher, so-
Yeah, I'm not saying it's, the rules are fitting what you want to do, it's ideal, but we have to try to treat everyone exactly the same. So that's where we're coming from, I think. And Renee could probably make a copy of it for you or email it to you or whatever you would prefer. So. And then we haven't had to do a variance process.
No, I haven't done one. I know of 2. I mean,
Yeah.
Peter had one on his RV shed, and then Martinez had one on the fence
Yeah.
at Ann and Lately.
Mhm. So I would have to look up, do you know the variance process off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's the same, it's the same as the special use permit.
Okay. I was wondering if it was. So, if you're going to have a variance, you have to pay the fee to Renee. And then you'd have to fill out the variance, request. And then what we do is let's see, we'd have one,
So there's a public hearing before the planning commission. So here's the procedure. Procedure for variance hearings will be the same as for zoning and rezoning, except for a publication. So it'll be the same exercise you did as for the short-term rental application.
Okay. I won't be able to be present, my representative is
That's
adequate,
perfectly fine.
okay. Is there a variance fee in addition to the $125, or is it the
I
same?
have to,
There is, I don't know what it is, we'll have to look at the fee schedule.
Yes.
I don't have one in my book.
If the fence is denied at 6 foot, do I still have to pay the permits, or is that refundable?
They're two separate fees.
I think the short answer is no on both. Variance fee is
That's what I was-
200. Well, at least in,
That seems excessive.
I think it's not, it's normally in place for houses and that kind of stuff. And we don't see it a lot for fences and those kind of things. And then it's just it's a standard, it's a flat variance fee for anything that doesn't fall into the code. Could you check on the most current fee in case?
yeah, this is revised June 2012.
Oh, we got it right there. There you go, guy.
So it would be the fence permit and that would be a variance since it doesn't meet the standards, so. And then if you could just get that information to us, I'd appreciate it, Renee.
yeah, I have her email address in front of her. So.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm sorry we couldn't just approve it right away.
thank you.
So do you need to set the date then? With all
Can we set the date with that permit or with that application? I don't think we can, because that'd be on the 1645 too.
I don't think so. Submission to petitioner shall submit a petition on all required items to the town clerk no later than 30 days prior to any regular meeting.
So that would be the next one then.
So we're here at the 25th.
Is the date subject to the
First one.
submission?
Yeah, so,
of
well,
the
it's
application?
first one in December,
Would be the earliest, yeah.
yeah.
So December 12th.
Yeah, provided,
Well, even if we didn't have the meeting.
no, so here we are at the 25th, so you need 30 days. So that's gonna be the 24th, that's 30.
Are they summer rentals?
Just the one.
If, no, because, yeah, so this, we're not working on the 29th. Because that's the 5th Tuesday. So the soonest we
Is that
get,
the fifth Tuesday?
yeah,
Oh, yeah, it is, you're right. So it's,
so the 13th will be the soonest we can hear it, so we need to have it by the 13th of November.
May I ask you a question?
yes.
So this process might take more than 30 days. What is the condition like for snow in this area going into December? Is it?
No
is it
idea.
like Winter,
It's a toss-up. We don't get, the bulk of our snow we get March, April, May.
Yeah,
So, but and
Ground-
it can snow
ground
before
frozen?
then.
not yet.
I
Could be.
I got my driveway in December, so But it really depends on the year, because like this, last October, on the 5th of October, we had a foot of snow.
Yeah,
Like a
'cause
couple
I
years
might
ago,
have to
so.
wait till spring at this point with this delay.
Maybe,
With my
yeah.
permit-
That's why I asked you if it was a summer rental or if it was.
Yeah.
Something that was a.
Well, it's closed for the season now, so.
Okay. Maybe so, because, yeah, it's hard to tell what the conditions will be like in December. It's, like Mike said, it's a toss-up. So,
We had,
You could put the post holes in any time.
at one point, we discussed the times on how long
That part's.
a shed or
Yeah.
fence permit.
6
Get
months.
in the ground.
Okay.
I think it was 6 months or a
I
year.
thought it was 6 months,
We'd have to go back.
yeah. I didn't see if we had.
There's no requirements.
We might have it on the first page of the fence permit that has more explanations on it. 'Cause remember, there's this page, and then we have the explanations page.
Do you have 2 pages to the fence? That didn't get,
Can you get printed?
no.
I don't have that in the application.
Okay,
This is the.
I probably, I'll have it.
okay.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, Dick?
Okay, I asked Renee to put this on the agenda on behalf of the UPass Triangle Chamber of Commerce. We have the president of the chamber at the podium, Mr. Mike Loman.
Changing my hat. The chamber is sponsoring the first annual tree lighting festival, and we scheduled it for November 26th. We would like to hang Christmas tree lights on a spruce tree located on the north side of the gazebo Lake Park. To provide the electrical power to the lights, we need to extend an existing service about 24 feet to the base of the tree. And I got a drawing and
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
as shown on the drawing, there's an existing pedestal that was placed there by the, when the swings were here, from the Green Box Festival. There is 50 amp capacity of that pedestal. We would then need to run extensions at 21 feet to a box that then the tree lights will plug into. And we had Bob Pennant come up and look at it, and he will be doing the installation. He's a licensed electrician.
Who will be doing it?
Pardon me?
Who will be doing it?
Bob Pennant, PNC Electric.
This is the fence.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's more than just an extension cord, or it's an actual electrical line?
There'll be like 4 extension cords.
It's an extension cord.
Mike, that's option B.
As a,
What we're looking for is approval of a rigid conduit at this time. We may decide later to change the design, but right now we need to approve this as shown.
Is it buried?
Huh?
Will it be buried?
Yes,
Okay. I'm just asking.
yeah. It says underground, OG
Okay.
means underground.
Is this really something we would approve since it's town land, or would this be a board thing? 'Cause I
I
feel like it's town land, so it's, and it's not something that is appearance based.
Read the last paragraph.
and,
Oh, you.
But once again, it's not something that is, it's
This can
electrical.
undergo architectural review.
Yeah,
right, we need to get a building permit from, the building department.
right, but it's electrical and we don't do any electrical sort of. So,
I think you'll find this project meets all setbacks. It
But-
meets architectural standards. In fact, I couldn't find anything in our land use code that would give you a reason to deny this request.
Well, it's not that we're gonna deny the request, it's that
Doesn't fall under the scope of our,
it doesn't fall under the scope of what we do because it's electrical. It has nothing to do with what,
But if you'll recall, regional will not issue a building permit unless you
no, they will.
sign, stamp and sign the drawing.
that's not a building permit, it's an electrical permit.
They will not issue a permit to do a deck or upstairs or something like that a lot of the time. But for electrical stuff, they issue those permits all the time without a stamp from us.
But I think you have to take it before the board,
Yeah, I was gonna
Because
say,
this
it's town land.
public property. And you can't just ask for a permit from the chamber without taking this before the board.
Yeah, so I would say it doesn't need to be approved by the planning commission, but it needs to be approved by the board. Mac?
I mean, the town owns, go ahead.
Well, my questions, I guess, are, who pays for the service? Who pays for the electricity? Who pays for extending whatever power goes from whatever place it goes to? How does the power get from the power line to the box? Is there a junction? Is there a meter? Is there a disconnect?
Show the drawing.
Well,
Well, I think it's not even a matter of the drawing. We know there's a stub there, but this is town property. The board needs to make the decision. They need to decide if they want electric running through there and how that's gonna interfere or not with irrigation and
yeah, there might be irrigation lines there.
playing in the park and I think,
I think it's a board thing and
Is there power there now?
yes,
Yeah.
he was saying there's power
And
there.
there's a meter there?
It was
in
put
addition-
in, they were saying it was put in for swings
so
by the green box.
The meter is on the pole next to the land office building.
And that's not enough for what you need, for what you're doing? What's there now, what's existing is not enough for what you need?
It's 24 feet from the tree.
And extension.
The problem we're trying to solve is get the power from the existing stub up 24 feet or to the tree so we can plug in the lights.
And I'm assuming you don't want to run an extension cord because there's a possible trip hazard.
It's what?
fire hazard.
Possible trip hazard. Well, as long as.
Depends on how many
it's
lights we
it's
have.
not fire hazard.
What did you have to go through when you put the swings up?
I wasn't there for that.
What did you have to go through when you put the swings up?
They,
You have no idea.
well, they.
That was a green box thing.
Oh,
They-
great,
actually,
just they do it.
They increased the service at the pole by the land office and then dug a conduit over to the stub.
Can you move the tree over?
That will be more expensive. Do you guys agree that we just need to, this needs to go before the board, not before the planning commission?
I agree with that.
I'm all excited.
Since it's electric, it's not something we have purview over, so, no.
I just wanna know who approved the swings, that's all.
I'm sure the
That's
planning
what
commission and the
Planning
board.
commission and the board.
I mean, there was a lot of people that came to town for those, so. I had people coming up all the time, randomly showing up in my house, and like, we can't see the swings, and we're gonna come see your house too, so, I don't know.
Can I summarize?
Yes.
It appears that the planning commission doesn't normally approve electrical installations of this type. And the mayor has recommended that we send it to the board for approval.
That's
And
correct.
I concur with that.
Do we need to make a motion for this? I don't think we do.
We just wanted to make
But if
sure
you
we-
could add this to the agenda for the next board meeting, please, Renee?
Thanks.
Save these for the.
Yeah.
Well,
300-pound rate.
I can redo it.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, we'll move on to CFD update.
First, I want to thank the chairman for sending out the multiple form we need to devise so that each planning commissioner could indicate their initial prioritization. Excellent key work document. I do have a copy of the last action that this planning commission took. I have copies for everybody. This will go back to the last actions that we took. And there's new information that changes this document also. And I have a couple others. Anybody wants a copy? Here you go, Mac. I got two extra copies.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, new information that's occurred since this meeting on the 11th of October. Don Ellis and I did a lot of research on this. Lake Repair Outlet, Tom Hughes on our Parks Committee, I talked to him on the phone, he says that work was all completed, there's none left. So you can strike a line through that CIP line item. Repair Lake Outlet. It's under number 3. The next item, flood control bank stabilization, north edge of Gazebo Park, where the erosion is profuse. Don and I felt that we should approach the Fountain Creek Watershed Flood Control District and ask them if they would add an item, a new item, to take care of that problem. They did not have a project listed for that. But to get a new item on is gonna take probably a year or so. Not talking about design and construction time. So there's no way that can be accomplished, even if they instantly approve it. So we recommend that line item be delayed to at least 2018. So I put a line through that one. After 7, you'll see another one lined up. Flood control replace the El Paso Avenue East crossing.
The bridge?
El Paso East crossing. You know where that is?
It's not the bridge, it's down past.
Yeah, way east of you, Dave.
Right, okay.
That's the one that backs up because the culverts that they put in initially were too small.
Right,
And tree branches and everything would back up and caused a lot of flooding.
right.
Again, this is an item that was not identified by the Fountain Creek Watershed Flood Control District. And Don and I would like to ask them to add this item to their list. And again, probably would not get designed or funded earlier than 2019 or earlier than 2018. So it doesn't belong in the 2017 program. That's why it's lined out. Farther down, Town Hall, paved driveway and parking. We discussed that and we said, people caught me outside the meeting and said, you don't want to pave this driveway, do you? We'll never get up in the winter. Same argument we had for all our steep streets. I said, well, you got a point there. Meantime, the fire department wants to build a new building up here, and they want it paved to handle their equipment. So we thought the fire department was going out for what, $3.5 million bond issue? Let them pave it if they're the only ones that needs it. It doesn't appear the citizens need it or would like to have it. So I lined through that one. And figured they won't get the bond issue, the design and the construction going earlier than 2019.
Or later.
I thought they were putting the facility on the Joyland property.
No.
No, that's old news. They
Okay.
moved it.
All right,
They couldn't reach an agreement with Joyland.
right.
The last one is, park pool restrooms. We listed that in 2017 because it's a valid need. But it requires a GOCO request for a grant. And the deadline for GOCO requests for 2017 is in November. I don't see any way that we can get a request written and up to them by that deadline. So we recommend that that project be slipped to 2018. Those are the corrections that we recommend. This list in front of you. And now,
So they only the town hall driveway, just leave
no, it's moved to 2019.
town hall driveway.
Some people may think it's a valid request, so we left it in there. We can debate it when we get to 2018.
It's all up in the air whether they get the bonded, if they gotta build the
Oh,
fire
yeah,
station.
we don't know.
Yeah,
That's- We won't know in 2017, I can tell you that.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So now, Mr. Chairman, we can discuss,
Everything else?
yeah, the
Okay.
property. We're now to the point, now that we know which projects are in 2017, now we can discuss the priorities for the projects that are left in 2017.
So it kind of looked like to me from, that everyone put asphalt repairs and road culvert work at the top for this year. Those were 1 and 2 across the board. And then the split rail fence for pool parking and town hall audio were 3rd and 4th across the board.
Yeah, now, just some remarks on 2016. Those are listed because they were carryovers.
Right.
And during the budget discussions at the town board level, they mentioned the fact there's gonna be some carryover funds from 2016. So maybe you wanna leave these in 2016 and use some of that carryover money for that. They're also eyeing the equipment replacement as a possible use of the carryover funds. Is that accurate, Jane?
That's accurate, but it's there may be carryover funds.
Okay.
There wasn't a there will be.
It's
That's
kind of hard to guarantee that.
right,
With 2 months left, maybe with like a week left.
day left.
So if 2016 funds are not available, then those 4 projects would have to slip to 2017.
Well, I think that's maybe a wait and see then. Let's see what happens. Because none of them are ridiculously expensive and a couple of them might be able to get funded.
Right. I agree.
For 2017, let's see,
Need to add a column to the sum.
Yeah,
Low
do an
score
average
is,
all of them.
well, the low score is the highest priority.
yeah? Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, just move it on the right, it's the
Yep.
sum of the left.
Once you get a score.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can,
So the lowest sum is the highest rank.
I can do it on
15.
right here.
What does GF mean? I'm sorry.
GF, general fund.
No, okay, thank you. I'm just-
So, for example, Belvedere widening and overlay would be 6, 9, 15, 20, 21. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So I wrote 21 on my right margin here.
I'm doing
And Stilling Basins would be a score of 14. The sprinkler system would be 14.
Yeah, but Jane didn't rank it.
Well, and let me, before you go on here, the ones that I marked 2018, one was sprinkler system, the outlet, which may or may not be on there, the gazebo park bathroom, and the construct a new path. Those would all be included in the Fishing is Fun grant. The grant's due, and we won't hear about it until summer
That's
of
correct.
2017. But all those things would be included in it, so we wouldn't be able to do it until 2018.
Unless you want to use general fund to get it done in 2017.
But if you're
Yeah, somebody
asking,
else is gonna pay for it.
but if you're asking for it in a grant, and it's all gonna be funded for 2018, then you could prioritize your money in a different way. Unless you wanna give me all that money to be the
I'd
matching
like to
grant.
just debate the park repair sprinkler system on the east side. If you go to the park, it is terrible. It's a dirt pile full of weeds. If we can't come up with $5,000 locally to do that in 2017, we're fooling ourselves. It should not go to 2018.
Yeah, but
There's another part to this,
the funding.
on the sprinkler system and resod. The final straw on that camel's back that broke down everything through the pile of weeds, as Dick has said, occurred during when the swings were here.
That's right.
And as a result of that, and you will notice back in column 1, 2, 3, where it talks about funding, that there's a big HGMFF.
That's correct.
And if I could leverage that money as
And-
part of the matching grant for the fishing is fun, then we'd be that much further ahead on the grant money.
Okay, this project is already funded.
That this project is already funded. That's right.
Jesse Stroop said he would split the cost with me. I said I'd pay this in half.
Yep.
This project is funded for 2017 to get it done
By
as soon
whom?
as possible.
By whom?
Green box.
Green.
Green Mountain
I thought they were gonna do the whole thing, actually, is what I heard,
No, they agreed, they said, well, the swings didn't ruin the whole park.
not the whole.
And I said,
project.
okay,
But
I'll make a donation to pay for the rest of it. So that project is funded and we can do it in 2017. There's no reason now to delay it, waiting for a big grant that we don't know if we're ever gonna get.
Is that a spring
Okay.
project?
Huh?
Do it.
Well,
Get
is
my
that a
amount.
spring project?
Yeah.
April, May, June.
No point in trying.
Okay, so I've got everything prioritized, or everything sorted now.
Oh, good.
So the top one was road culvert, or sorry, that's 2016, I apologize, I'll go down to the next one. Looks like the top one for 2017 was stilling basins,
Okay,
and this is working off of what Willie said to do. Next one is replace bridge Maple Street.
okay,
Next one is Belvedere. Or sorry, gazebo park bathroom increased capacity was after that, then Belvedere.
oh, I forgot to bring that up. I had a conversation with Cameron Thorne. I asked him about this project. I said, Cameron, we need to know what your research came up with. And here's his response by email. Based on the quotes I've received by BMS, I anticipate upgrading the gazebo park restrooms to a vault evaporator system will cost about $25,000. I hope this is part of the overall lake and park overhaul project in 2017 or 2018. So he says, he says 2018. So I wanted him to please give us what he thought the urgency of this one is. Jane, you probably got a good feel for this.
Because it was right in there with the fishing is fun grant, along with the park, and along with the upgrades to the bathroom. It's all rolled in there together.
Okay, so you want to defer to 2018?
Yes, please.
So just stepping back from that one just a little bit, is there a master plan for the gazebo park as to what we want it to look like 1 year, 5 years, 10 years from now, as far as what we're doing, or is it a piecemeal?
No, it's
Yeah, it
all
is.
together instead of this
Just-
little bit and that little bit.
Okay.
That's why I rolled the trail. And all the other, the outlet and the inlet and everything else is into this grant.
Okay,
It's not a master plan, it's what it's gonna look like in 5 and 10 years. But we're hoping that this lake upgrade and the outlet upgrade will be something that lasts a good 20
okay,
years.
all right.
Okay, so,
What's the next one?
Park Ray, so we did, Belvedere was next.
The one here, that's number 3.
1 second.
Yeah, you did Stilling Basins and Bridge, Maple Street.
Yeah, and then, yeah, number 3 is Belvedere.
Okay,
Number 4 is park sprinkler system.
okay. And
Which
again, that's
you
already
just talked
funded,
about,
that's
right.
already funded.
But it's,
You can put priority on it if you want.
it's still a priority to get done,
Okay,
even if it's already funded.
all right, good.
Then after that, we have repair flood damage from Honda runoff. Then, let's see, sorry, I'm having to scroll back and forth.
That's okay.
Then monument sign, town hall monument sign, monumental sign and community events board.
Okay, strike community events board, I made that a separate line item. See at the
Okay, well
bottom
then
line?
monumental sign.
And so the cost is changed now to, what was it, 8,000 instead of 10.
Okay, and then after that is.
Community events board should be probably more like 4,000 at the most.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
so then after that is Lake Armor West Shore construct new path, which I think is separate from yours because the Trails Committee's doing it.
It's in the same grant.
It
but
is, okay,
I have no,
okay. Well, then we'll move on from that one.
Okay, that's funded.
That's
We
gonna
got
be
on
part
our
of
list
the,
to do it in 2017. You can wait and put it in the grant if you want to, but we can get it done in 2017
but if
with
you,
volunteer labor.
if you do it and then it gets torn out because of what's happening with the lake, then you just turn it away.
No, torn out, what do you mean?
It
What
did,
you do gets undone by future activities a year later. Is that
I'm
correct?
sorry, what do you mean by torn out?
I don't have a picture of what your trail is proposing, but if
Okay.
the trail that the grant is proposing goes all the way around the lake and it's different from what you put in, then you're gonna be asking people to volunteer to do something that may only last a year. And we'd be better off if we could, again, leverage that money and that, matching labor against the grant.
We were gonna put in a stone retaining, a boulder retaining wall to armor the lake first, and then put in the trail. So it should last 20, 25 years.
But if it doesn't go with the plan that's being proposed and the drawing that we have, I don't wanna see you waste
We're willing to waste the labor. Our committee wants to do this project, so we can have the path right now. Right now, you can't walk around that end of the lake.
okay. Well, that's something for you guys to discuss later. That's not something we can work out now.
At any rate, we're willing to fund that thing, so.
So the next one after that, Dick, is
Okay, what-
repair,
I'm sorry, what did Lake Armor West Shore have, what numbers you get?
that was the next
Seven.
one.
7,
Then after that is repair the contrail, flood damage, raised tread.
okay,
Then after that is repair the altitude sign,
okay,
and after that's the community events board.
that's 10,
Yep, that's everything that wasn't crossed out,
okay,
so,
I think we're done.
yep.
Wait a minute, there's
I missed
speed
the-
control devices,
What?
speed control devices?
Oh, sorry, I must have missed that one.
Okay.
I apologize.
Also, didn't we just call out
22, 28,
town hall other
36.
needs? Did you?
I thought that one was moved.
no, still there.
Nobody actually put a number on that one, I don't think.
No, there's 11.
4, 11, 7, 6, 8, total 36.
There must have been, someone must have put something else in there, because it didn't have.
There's a
it.
define. Yeah, so
Oh.
that skewed it.
Yeah, that skewed it. If anybody put letters in it,
Yeah.
it skewed the numbers, so.
So how does 36 stack up with the other ones?
So if we had, so the town hall other
Yeah.
would be tied with the monumental sign.
Tied, okay, monumental signs is,
And then cell phone tower, I think
6.
everyone basically left off. And speed control devices. Like someone else.
Yeah, it says
So we had
it's
4,
15,
11.
22, 28, 36, so that's a 36.
Yeah, well,
So then if you took community events board, 22, 35,
So it falls to
So
number 11.
it'd be number 11 then.
Yep.
At least 11.
That's correct.
Okay.
And where does speed control? Oh,
That'd be
that's
11.
11. Okay. I think now we're done. Cell phone tower.
Which one is number 10?
Community events board.
Number 10 is community.
I
Where do we
didn't
put the
cell
cell
phone-
phone
I
tower?
didn't put it in there,
Okay.
because nobody really rated it. Only 2 people did, so.
Yeah,
Nobody-
it was, and it didn't rank it because I put no control except where. I mean,
Well, and I didn't
it's-
put anything in there either, I put an A. So,
Okay,
Yeah.
I was hoping to get a priority on that to see how important it is to the community. And to keep action going with the carriers to get the thing done. If we don't give it any priority, at all,
yeah,
then there's no guidance.
But they're putting it in, profit is the motive
That's correct.
for putting that
It's
in.
their
And
business.
so is it servicing the people on the 24 corridor or is it servicing the town?
It sort of both.
Yeah.
But in other words, it will bring the carrier's availability to everybody versus Sprint and Horizon in this side of Red Bluff, as well as increase the capacity along 24.
Do you think putting it on at the water treatment plant up on top of the hill would?
That has been rejected.
They've already looked at that.
They don't want anybody up there messing with the water.
What's the status of the cell tower project right now?
Right now, Sprint and T-Mobile are very interested. They saw their subscriptions go up to meet their 500 new subscriptions in the area, and now they're trying to find the best possible property to buy to put up a multi provider tower, just like the one that's over here, that's owned by UUNet.
How many sites in Green Mountain Falls are being considered?
They won't tell me that. With the board's permission, I resubmit the ones that I did in the past. We did the measurements and they're good for the town properties. I do believe that there's one site on Karen Watson's property that also might be a candidate if they can use that access road that is the one that kind of goes up the.
So I created this line item to bring attention to the fact this will be a tremendous asset for all our citizens.
Right.
And if we don't put it on the CIP list, it'll get lost. Furthermore, if we gave it a decent priority, that would stimulate some action from the town to endorse the concept at least and start public discussions. So that's why I put it at pretty high priority.
Yeah, basically the way the cell providers, they all have a standard approach that you submit a property with an address. There are 4 or 5 questions about it, and it goes into them and kind of disappears.
Who bought that land behind those 2 houses that I have on Belvedere? The one you go up the trails to get to.
Historic Green Mountain Falls Foundation.
That's
So
what
put
it's
it on
for.
top of Dewey Mountain.
There you go.
At any rate,
That one wouldn't help. It's wrong line of
Seems to me
sight.
there are a lot of unknowns in the cell phone tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know why we're getting all excited about something that we know nearly nothing about. It seems to me that the providers have a lot of requirements that we may not be able to fulfill.
true.
So I don't know why we're so excited about this. I mean, put it on the list, but, you know, to prioritize it high on the list seems a little foolish since there are so many unknowns.
It's not gonna cost us anything. The
It
reason it's high,
cost us in the ability to fulfill the rest of our desires. If you're spending time trying to get a cell phone provider or 2 or 3 or however many
Yes,
invested in the town,
Yes.
and you don't know what exactly it is that you need
it's
to get
worthy,
them.
Max,
Certainly worthy, but not worthy of all the time we've already spent on it.
I'm
If you
I'm
have
thinking of-
one carrier, if you have one carrier on
I
it,
think
it only
it is
benefits
worthy of the
the
time.
people who subscribe to that carrier.
Mike's been talking to these
This
people.
is an income to the town. This is an income stream to the town. It's not an expenditure,
It's not an income until it happens.
but it
And
won't happen.
if you spend an inordinate amount of time trying to find out that you're not able to do it, then you've wasted a lot of time. So, when the unknowns become known, then I think you should spend more time on it. But, in order to, if the cell phone companies' requirements are that they each get 500 new applicants, where are you gonna get those 500 people?
It's up
Where are you
to
gonna get
them.
that 1,000 people?
It's up to them.
So,
I guess what I was looking for is to give Mike some ammunition, that he could talk to the carriers and say, our town really sees this with great benefit to our community. We understand there's some hurdles to jump over, and you have certain requirements. The town also has a planning commission that can investigate sites and come up with a draft proposal for the town board to endorse. To me, those actions have to be taken in order to support getting the cell tower at all.
You first off have to know what the requirements
No, you
are.
don't.
Oh,
Well, no, the
this is
requirement,
just an income.
no, the thing
okay,
is,
this really isn't something to get worked up over.
No.
It's not that big a deal.
we,
Do we wanna, wait a second, Mike. Do we wanna have it on there or not? I think that's what we wanna figure out. That's first. How many people wanna have it on there? Okay, so majority of us wanna have it on there. What priority would you guys like to have that?
To me, my comment was there's no control over except where. So it's the unknowns that Matt was talking about.
I guess,
I had six, Don had three, or I had four,
mhm.
so Don, I thought it should be pretty high, 3 and 4.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess for me, the way technology's gone, like, it doesn't really matter if I have a cell phone tower or not. Like, most people's phones in the next year and a half, 2 years, who cares if you have a cell phone tower when you're at home? So it won't be a lot of benefit to our actual citizens. I mean, my phone doesn't use a cell phone tower at home, my wife's doesn't, most of my friends don't.
What do you have?
Google Fi.
Huh?
Most of my friends have Republic Wireless or Google Fi, and none of them use cell phone towers at home, so to make calls or anything, and that's the way it's going. So is it really something that's gonna benefit us in the long run, or just for the next couple of years?
Well, if you don't get all the carriers on that tower, you're benefiting
Right,
only a slice of the population.
but
and if it happens to be on town land, we're benefiting the town. If it happens to be on Karen Watson's land or whoever, then we're benefiting her with all the work we've done, or Mike's done. So, I mean, I'm willing to put it on there, I'd put it at maybe 10. And you have 3 and you have 4. Where would you put it, Mary?
I'd put it at like a 7 or 8.
Okay. Willie? Since the majority of us want it on there.
I'm okay with it being on there.
Yeah.
It's, if nothing else, just to keep sight of it.
Yeah.
The planning commission of the town doesn't become a player until they say, we're going to put one in.
So I'd say middle priority
Yeah.
based on that. So somewhere around, how many do we have now, Dick? I didn't.
We're at 11.
So let's maybe if we put it at 6 or 7, because so bump everything down and then put it at 6 or 7, because that's kind of in the middle.
Give it a 6.5.
The other thing is, because it deals with the quality of the area,
Yeah,
Chambers has sent in their requests for updating the service or upgrading the service
mhm,
because it affects our schools, it affects our commerce, it affects the general livelihood or general quality of life,
mhm.
especially when every 10 seconds you're getting dropped off your cell. Gets
That's what
rather
I'm
frustrating.
saying, a year or two down the road, that's not gonna be an issue.
Why?
Because almost all the phones, almost all the carriers, T-Mobile, Verizon, maybe AT&T, are switching to where you can go do Wi-Fi calling. So it's becoming less of an issue.
I assume that CenturyLink and Comcast can handle the extra.
So, I think, so Mary can get home to watch the rest of the game. And I think we should bump everything else except for one thing that I forgot to add onto the agenda. Did you get done with this?
I got a first draft, so there's a map, you've got two maps down there to share, we've got two to share. In the letter I sent out,
I must have missed the letter.
yes, in purchasing the, number one, town-owned lands that are existing lots identified by the Puzzle County Assessor's Office and right-of-ways. Currently, there are a number of lands located in right-of-ways that are owned by private parties. Without a lot of research, it is unknown how the private parties acquired these lands. See attached handout. The attached handout is the map sheet for just my neighborhood. And so it's a small portion of Green Mountain Falls. And everywhere there's a yellow highlight, there is right-of-way land that's owned by private parties.
Excuse me, Willie, do you have any extra copies of that?
You can have this one.
Okay.
So I think there's 13 parts of right-of-ways that are owned, and I know there's more in the town. And so essentially, take a look at this. This was the process that I wrote out. The section 11-118 says we come up with a guideline or a checklist. And so this is the first draft of it. It's pretty good. So there's a word that needs to be replaced under 2.1.2. And so there are lots owned by Green Mountain Falls that somebody could buy outright. And it's just the same as somebody bought vacant property. It's not part of a right of way. It's just a parcel identified by a schedule number. And so if the town sold that, it'd be no different than one property owner selling private property to another private property owner.
Our code restricts the purchase of public lands without going through this process.
Correct.
These aren't easements?
There is a, 117 is the process to acquire an easement. 118 is the process to purchase public lands.
And they refer to each other.
Yeah, well, I think they just copy and paste.
That's right, they did.
The easement.
You're right. Well, this looks like a good first draft.
Yeah, so shoot holes in it, walk through the process. I think it is somewhat restrictive. And if somebody wants to buy part of a right of way, there's a number of hurdles there, particularly a survey.
Yeah, not the least of it has to get approved by the board.
Does any of these come up for that particular purpose?
Yeah,
There's one currently.
4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought there was some, yeah.
And so
I think this.
you need a description of what you want to buy, and then the discussion of the feasibility at the first meeting. And so that was 2.1.2.1, current use of the land.
This is excellent work. I think this would answer Mr. Meyer's inquiry.
So I do think we should all look over this though, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Shoot
next
holes in
week.
it, you know.
Yeah.
Tell me what you don't like, tell me what I left out, it should be in
Because-
there.
Yeah, and I think this is great, because I was trying to figure out how to respond to him, and since it's not something we have a process for.
Yeah.
It's
So we have to
something we
create,
can talk
come up with this process.
before we can respond.
Is there any requirement in there about a reason for buying?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that was current uses of the land and then proposed use of the land.
Right.
And then that's reaffirmed in the second.
Okay,
second
so,
meeting.
if everyone could look over this, make changes, come back, next meeting, we'll talk about it. Yes, Mike?
Just on the speed control devices,
Mhm.
before I came to me, I went to Colorado City auctions,
Mhm.
and there are 8 different cities who are selling their your speed flashing lights like we have up in Woodland Park
Yeah,
on those auctions, and they're incredibly cheap. Most of them are coming to pick them up.
yeah.
Are they operational?
They're operational.
You know, when you're a teenager, though, just makes you wanna go faster.
See how, see the highest score? It's like the personal breathalyzer.
Uh-huh.
Let's see how high you get it.
On that list, the new ones are about $3,500.
Yeah.
Each, so.
But we have tons of signs in town, is that really something we want? That's
Well,
for the board
that's,
to decide.
that's debatable.
So here's a speed control device until we get, a town marshal, is we have somebody,
Geese.
Thanks.
no, if you park the police car, we get a mannequin, put them in the driver's seat, Twin Lakes does.
That's what I said, that's what I said. It's sitting here doing nothing.
Just very effective.
Instead of jumping every time you start.
Put one at the four-way stop sign and put one at the set as you come into town, and there's your, yep.
Okay, so, last thing, Renee mentioned that we have a meeting the week of Thanksgiving, and we also have a meeting last week of the year.
So since I sent out that email to you, it was determined through code that meetings shall take place. If you don't have a quorum, then you can adjourn the meeting,
Okay,
but the meetings need to take
The
place.
chairman can come and count.
What's the budget for planning commission, I think,
what's what?
no, the requirement is once a month.
Oh,
For planning
sorry.
commission.
Ah.
That's section
Did
2.
that say that when you looked it up today?
I looked up the city council, I mean, town board.
Board of Trustees.
Section 2-227, the planning commission shall meet at least once each month.
There it is.
Okay,
Very good.
so now you can decide whether you want to do it or not.
Okay, so, do you guys wanna have meetings on the week of Thanksgiving and the 2 days after Christmas?
No.
So Thanksgiving
I don't.
is
The
the
24th,
24th.
the meeting is the 20th, would be
Yeah.
scheduled for the 20th.
So I would make a motion, or just.
So ours would be the 22nd in November,
Yes,
2 days before Thanksgiving.
one day.
Uh,
Well,
I can't
yeah,
get 24th.
The 24th is Thanksgiving, 22nd was
So November
the
22nd.
fourth Tuesday.
so do you guys wanna have a meeting the day before, 2 days before Thanksgiving?
I think we should not
Okay,
cancel this time, let the chairman determine if there's any urgent things to be discussed.
Well, it's advertising to the public, if we're gonna schedule it, be closed.
Yeah.
Then she can relay that to somebody who might be, now how does that work with,
that one can't be till the 14th.
no, so, December 13th
The variance.
would be the variance. The first hearing, the second hearing
Would be
on the
15
20
days
would be
after
the,
that.
well,
Oh, you're talking about town board?
yeah, board would hear the second. The first public hearing would be on the 13th for the planning commission. the second would be on the 20th, a week later.
Mhm.
I can see, canceling December 27th. I can go either way on 2 days before Thanksgiving.
I guess a great question is gonna be, who's gonna be at the meeting on the
Well,
22nd?
You can hold the meeting, if nobody shows up, you cancel it, but at least you made an attempt to take care of the business that may be urgent by the time you get that time of the month.
I'll be here on the, I'll be around on the 22nd if we're gonna have the meeting.
Yeah.
So I'll show up, but on the 27th, I think, let's
Cancel the
let's
27th.
cancel the 27th.
Got it. So we'll keep an open mind on the 22nd of November.
So I make a motion that we cancel the December 27th planning commission meeting in light of the holidays.
Second.
Okay. Well.
All those in favor?
Aye. Okay, let's adjourn the meeting at 8:12.
Thank you.
Like that.